James, I'm back with my agenda. Never follow rules, I want my funeral magenta. Just to piss off all my fucking homophobic relatives. Growing more imperative that I control my narratives. So I spit fire through this pop filter. La la, you got to have the zaza for me to shop with you. Raising my rates and I'll control fates. But if you fuck with me, I bring your fucking life to a stop quicker. I'm in your throat like some hot liquor. Roll through your hood like a drop shipper. Hands like a stock filter. I think if I was straight, then maybe I would pop quicker. Playing the lotto, I'm on the reposado. Can't be in my vicinity if you possessing maybes or fragile masculinity like Boosie tip a baby. It's crazy cause the very clothes you wearing was designed by the same group of people used to trying to keep behind. You ain't worried about the kids, you just use them as a shield to hide behind the bigotry of how you really feel. Ain't no think pieces in emails as long as it's some females that's kissing in the backseat. And you can check my rap sheet. I'm running circles around these washed up rappers like a track meet. Reflexing like an athlete. I'm jigging to the backbeat. Work selling in the trap meet. And my niggas back heat. Suggest to keep it cool before they bust and make it hat leak. And I ain't even really scratched the surface. Defeat the self-doubt, don't defeat the purpose. Make sure you got it or you won't complete the purchase. A man without a plan is like a clown without a circus. That's Dames, he go crazy on the mics and shit. Rolling blunts super straight on the pipes and shit. Fat ass with the fucking tiger stripes and shit. I get faded, grab my pen and then I write some shit about this crazy world we living in. My homies there to giving in, the doors there to kicking in. I never care about fitting in. No whipping the E-class, that motherfucker speed fast. I caught me a peach pass and reach for my weed stash. All sports teams, but I'm ballin', nigga. Better have a money move if you callin', nigga. It's my time to shine and you know I'm stallin', nigga. Dames going up, ain't that shit appallin', nigga. And I ain't even really in my prime yet. But I just been grinding like the time said. Mindset, I'm the fucking money, not a bitch though. I can tell you broke, but I ain't never been a snitch though. Came up on cassettes and CDs on the block. I don't smoke no cigarettes, but the trees stay in stock. It's the D-A-M to the I-E-N. And if I stand out, nigga, why be in? It's motherfuck the cops and motherfuck the ops. My niggas got good credit, we talking trades and stocks. I'ma always keep it real, that's what I get from my pops. They'll give me a fucking bullet before they give me my props. I got this war in my mind, I don't know who winning. All this Patron in my body and my head keeps spinning. Yo, how I'ma get to heaven? I mean, if I keep sinning, that's where life will drive you crazy, man. Just keep living. Oh God, I ain't even really scratched the surface. Defeat the self-doubt, don't defeat the purpose. Make sure you got it or you won't complete the purchase. A man without a plan is like a clown without a circus. Dames, and I ain't even really scratched the surface. No, defeat the self-doubt, don't defeat the purpose. Make sure you got it or you won't complete the purchase. A man without a plan is just a clown without a circus. Dames. Hip-hop. This rap shit is just in me.
I took a hit for the team. Took a bullet for the dream that we would one day all be free. Free from prejudice, free from sexism, free from bigotry. I die for creativity, yeah. I die for freedom to be free. I died and left a legacy. Oh, but baby, I still live through technology. The sun will start shining. What is the face?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everyone? I hope everyone is doing well on this Wednesday afternoon. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. It's a little hot here in Detroit. And Detroit has the worst air quality in the world right now. So, we're going through some things. All right, but we're gonna get through it. You might hear my fan in the background, and if you do, I'm sorry, but not sorry, okay? I love y'all, but I don't love y'all enough to not be hot, okay? What's going on, Ron Mims? What's going on? This live was spur of the moment. Again, a lot of my lives are spur of the moment. They're random. Just whenever I feel compelled. There's only a few things on my channel that is somewhat scheduled. But if you really want to stay in tune with me, you're going to have to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you can stay up to date, okay? And to also like the videos if you can, because it helps this channel grow on the algorithms. You know what I'm saying? And I would really greatly appreciate that, because I want to do the best I can to bring a more contextual and nuanced narrative to what's going on. Because what we're dealing with now is surface level shit. No shade. It is. And a lot of shit is going on and is happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, that's affecting all of us in terms of humanity. And when we actually study to show ourselves approved, I'm not saying that like I'm better than anybody. I'm just saying do it. We live in the information age where you have the opportunity to learn, to educate, and to figure shit out for yourself. But a lot of us are afraid to, because of the first word on the screen, fear. And as an individual who is walking in his own soul salvation, as far as the growing of that and healing of that on my own, without a teacher, without a covering, but finding my own power, facing my own fears in my own life, I am trying to encourage other people to do the same thing. Because when we do our research and we study to show ourselves approved, guess what happens? We start to see certain patterns. And I don't know if y'all are paying attention, and if you're on my channel, I hope you have. I've done a few lives about it, about what's happening over in Uganda. That the whole narrative that is being pushed about queer people right now, that is rising against queer people right now, that same energy has manifested over into another continent, to where there is a bill that has been signed into law and enacted, which will therefore criminalize queer people and to erase queer existence. And that's always been the case. And that's those same fear tactics and narratives that have been used are being used here. They came from here. And it becomes a problem when people who are in the queer community are afraid of other people in the queer community. They're afraid to understand them. They're afraid to educate themselves. And most importantly, and unfortunately, they're afraid of their own lives, because again, now they're going to have this broad generalization placed on them that has always been there. We're going to use the context, okay, and the caveat of Amir Odom. I'm not picking on him. I'm not bullying him. He has very interesting viewpoints. I've done commentary on Ron Vulgata, who has said similar things. And I'm trying on my end to have conversations with other people who see me and other people who are part of the community differently. It's even to the point to where hopefully within the month of July, I can have someone come on who is saying that they are no longer part of the queer community, that they're no longer gay. And is it possible for a queer person and a person who is ex-queer to sit down and have a conversation that is about humanity and context and nuance? And there has to be an individual out here to have those conversations with. It's only when both sides are heard and understood and we are operating in truth can we finally deal with the root issue. And from what I'm seeing, as an individual who is facing his own fears and be getting shook but excited at the same time because I understand what facing fear means and how you find your power. I want us to face our fears because what's happening now is we're projecting onto other people and we're playing into the game. Now, I have 2 videos that I'm going to share with you today that are both from Amir Odom's channel. Okay? Now, I will say this. There are some things that Amir Odom says that I can be like, okay. Because the one thing that I've been asking about on TikTok, because if you don't follow me on TikTok, you should, baby. My comment section be lit. Jesus, they be lit. But there's a certain narrative that is being pushed over there too, as far as children and all this other type of stuff. And he showed some clips that kind of backed up what he was saying. I said, okay, thank you for that. Because I'm trying to find the ultimate objective truth, not just the subjective, but the objective truth. What's going on, Kavan? What's going on? Because we all are human beings, right? Okay. Okay, let me stop y'all, because I know. Get y'all drinks together, get y'all smokes together, because I have nuanced and contextual conversations. That's why I'm all over the place. That's why I be talking, then I stop and I move to something else, because it's so much shit here. There's so much here that we're not looking at. I'm doing pretty good, Kavan. I'm a little irritated because even my own fears are being addressed. When I saw what happened over in Uganda, and again, that was years in the planning. It started in 2007 when they started that drafting or having conversations about anti-queer laws and how LGBT is a disease propagated by Americans, by the West, over in another fucking continent, another fucking country. And from 2007 all the way up till now, how long they've been trying to get that bill passed, and now it's passed, and innocent queer people are going to die because of these fear narratives. And there's a lot of blood on a lot of people's hands. But because we're entering into what is known as the age of Aquarius, this is the age of exposing, the age of ripping away the veil, the age of seeing the objective truth, the truth you can't control. And sometimes the truth that we have to face are the hardest ones because it includes us. And especially in America, it's so easy to point and blame somebody else. And we throw this word accountability around. Let me tell you something. I'm learning what the word accountability means. Because I don't know about y'all, but I had a boss ass nigga in my life, girl, who was probably one of the realest niggas I know. And I say the realest because I'm working on becoming a real nigga myself. No shade. And when you start loving yourself and walking in your truth, you realize you live in a world or a society where people are so used to assimilating and following everybody else to fit in. And it's always the weird people, the people who are different, who stick out. Of course, we're free, we're liberated. We're not held down by the limitations that y'all have and that y'all want to believe in, and that I'm learning that y'all want to continue to believe in, because a lot of people are so content with their fears. Anyway, hey, Style by Stevie, before we get into this, because baby, we're going to be here for a minute, because I'm going to take my time. It's Pride, almost the end of Pride Month. Y'all playing these whole stro games. Shout out to Deshaun Williams, because Deshaun be sending me so much stuff in my inbox. It be like, girl, y'all gonna really manifest the book of Revelations, bitch, because I'm hit y'all with all these revelations, all these revelations, all these revelations, all these articles, all these things. At this point, Scotty, beam us up. Beam us up, Scotty. The alien's trying to come save us, bitch. At this point, come through. Come through. Please come through. I'm ready to go. And that's always been the thing. I'm trying to pull this up, y'all. Sorry. Where we at? Boom. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay? So I want y'all to look at the screen. Shout out to, I think it's called Armed Equality or something. And shout out to Denny Upkins, which I'm gonna have to have him come on my platform soon, cause I'm learning how to find. There are other queer content creators that I'm so grateful for that are having conversations and building their own kingdoms and building their own establishments and their own tribe. But it's like I'm grateful that I'm starting to learn how to build my own and encourage others, because it's going to take all of us to make this shit work. But on the screen it reads, "We finally did it. We finally outlawed all the trans people and drag queens. Thanks for your help." And here is a person, LGB without the T. Gays against drag queens, girl. I'm just so happy to be of service. I'm just so happy. No problem. Like, yeah, they're fucking up our lives too. And oh my God, it's just, they're projecting their shit onto us. And you know, we was cool. We was chilling. We wasn't doing shit. You know what I mean? We was just having fun and doing our own thing. And then here comes the queer, and here comes the trans, and here comes the intersex, and here comes the asexual, and here comes all these other things, non-gender conforming. Here comes all these other things that are making our lives more difficult, or better yet, or better said, truthfully, just ramping up y'all homophobia so that it goes from being covert to being overt. Because you want to say something about it, but you live in a society now that when you discriminate against other people, you're held accountable. It's so funny how the tides have turned, isn't it? And it seems as, okay, let me stop. Anyway, happy to be of service. So the person says, so who are we going after next? Y'all see this big ass face right here? He's looking at him. I said, who's next? See that big ass face? What's understood needs no explanation. Okay? Because and I promise we're going to go into the video after this. Because of the system we live in, and again, Amir is going to say something that's very imperative in both his videos. The first one he did, he said something. I was like, okay, I'm with you on that. How corporations have now monopolized on queer people, to where Pride Month now is just a month of making money. He also said that it's now becoming political. Of course. There's going to be another presidential race soon. Every 4 years, there's always something going on to make us want to fight and go against each other and all this stuff, playing in the same system. A capitalistic system that monopolizes off of oppressed groups, S, plural, groups of people. What's up, Roki? What's going on? Yeah, let's get into it. Look, y'all better roll up, babe. I'm off of edible right now. Shout out to True North Confections. Okay, they're amazing. It's so much, and I'm gonna take my time on this. Because again, this shit is bigger than what we're looking at. That's why we're playing into it. And the reason why I have certain fears, and I can, at least unlike these other people, I can justify the fear, is because once again, look over in Uganda. Do I still have that video? I will pull that up, and let me pull it up right now. I ain't gonna play it right now, but I'm gonna play it at the end. It's called The Christian Question. Okay? But anyway, the first video we have of Amir is a video where he is talking about the L and the G and the B wants to disassociate themselves from the T, the Q, and the I, because it's rocking the boat. It's shaking the table. There are some people who are okay being tolerated, and that's fine if you want to be tolerated. I'm learning how to be free and liberated without anybody's permission. Especially if I'm not objectively hurting anybody. And you can prove that I'm hurting them. You can't. But let's deal with, girl, the gay on gay shit, girl. Let's get into it.
Last 3 to 5 years, gay relations within the United States have been plummeting, and there's a clear answer why. The TQ+. The LGB has nothing to do with the TQ+ community. The LGB is strictly biology and sexuality, and the TQ+ is all identity and expression of the personality. They have nothing to do with each other. It's hard making sense of the world that we live in today when the TQ+ is saying women have bulges,
We all just normalize women having bulges sometimes.
biological men don't exist,
There's no such thing as biological men. That's not a real thing. That is a transphobic dog whistle.
and we can't even define what a woman is.
What is a woman?
I don't think it's like defined. I think if somebody identifies as a woman, then they are a woman.
Speaking of making sense of the world we live in, I want to thank Atlas VPN for protecting me in
Girl,
the online
shout out to them. Shout out to them protecting you. Protecting, yes, protect. Protecting, protection.
money back guarantee.
Okay, you're gonna get the money back guarantee after the protection, baby. Go subscribe and get your shit from them. Okay, what is VPN? He gonna tell us what it is, girl. Okay, there we go. Thank you so much. Okay, is it done? Let's see.
To be honest, I always thought that VPNs were just for
Okay, I should have had this queued up, but I was a little late. Sorry. Are we here now?
Atlas VPN. It's super quick and easy to set up.
Oh Lord, no, it's not. Not in this way. Okay, I think you're done now. Are you done? I hope you're done.
So if you want to try it out and take advantage of this huge
Fuck it,
deal,
we'll let 'em rock.
be sure to
Shit.
click the link in the
VPN, obviously
description
want this
below
shit,
and take
and I want a
advantage
little bit
the
of it
limited
too.
time offer. Thank you, Atlas VPN, again for sponsoring today's video. The LGB has nothing to do with the TQ+. The LGB is sexuality, and the TQ+ is identity. You can't deny that these are two completely separate groups. One has everything to do with who someone is with, and another has everything to do with how that person presents themselves, what their personality is like, if they're suffering gender dysphoria, a whole ball of things. And don't forget TQ+, that plus being an additional things that just keep adding to the list. LGB, clearly defined, we know what it is, we know what it stands for, and it's done. The TQ+ is not. And on that note, biology matters. There's male and there's female. And the LGB is rooted and depends on biology to even exist. The definition of a homosexual is to be sexually attracted to one's own sex. The definition of a heterosexual is to be attracted to the opposite sex. The definition of bisexuality is to be attracted to both sexes.
Correct.
Again, male and female.
Okay.
Sex is biology. It's not about culture. It's not how someone presents themselves. It's not about what gender someone says they are. It's literally biology. The only way you can change this is by creating new words and changing the definition. And that's exactly what the TQ+ side of things are doing. The erasure of women. Content creator Savannah Edwards summed this up really well. The use of cisgender terms has nothing to do with male and female. It has everything to do with affirming a trans person's identity. In order for the phrase trans women are women to make sense, you have to change what woman means. Let's dive into this. So we have female, which is a biological woman.
Correct.
And then you have a girl, which is a biological female child. And then you have a woman, which is a biological female adult.
Okay. Thank you for that. I'm grateful for you breaking that part down, and I'm glad you did because it helps me understand where you are. And that's all that matters. Because again, I'm just trying to find the bridge, okay? Because at the end of the day, regardless of whatever we believe, we are all human beings and we all have to live on planet Earth together. So I'm trying to figure out how to get to that point. Because I ain't finna blow all my damn weed trying to do all this shit. Okay? As far as what I have done, as far as my own research and education and talking to other trans people who have also studied to show themselves approved, okay? People who are living the trans experience, okay? Here's the thing, for me, because we hear what you're saying, I'm gonna share my perspective because this is my shit. Male and female is the biology. It is the organs that you are born with. Okay, I agree with you on that. When we start talking about boy, girl, man, woman, we start entering into what is known as a social construct. Girls and women wear pink. They wear dresses. They have long hair. They smell like sweet flowers. A lot of women are taught to be aspired, or are taught to aspire, shall I say, to be someone's helpmate, to cook and clean and wash everything, smile and grin. Hand her man a pen so he can write that check paying all of her bills. And he'll give it to her and she'll give it to him and say, woo woo, woo 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 woo. How does that feel? Okay? So these are social constructs. Not all females are going to fit into that social construct. There are cisgender, because cisgender just also includes female. It is a female woman. That's what cisgendered means. It's not meant to be disrespectful. It's a scientific term. Look at Jackie Hill Perry. She is an ex-lesbian and still dresses like a stud. Or what the social construct, shall I say, would be considered studly or masculine. Okay? So let's hear his breakdown of what it means between cis women and trans women. Okay.
Very cut and dry. It's been this way for forever. But now we have a cis woman, which is a biological woman that identifies as a woman.
Female woman,
And you have
yes.
trans woman, which is a biological man that identifies as a woman. And we've effectively turned woman into an identity. And we've stripped biology away from that, including female. So female isn't even biology anymore. It's just an identity. And the problem that we have is we have a growing subset of biological women, just women, that's what we used to call them, women, getting upset because they are not an identity. Being a woman is not an identity. It's their reality. This is their real life. They are a woman.
Okay. Again, I understand where you're looking at it from. Okay? I can understand where you're looking at it from and what you've been taught to believe. Now, here's the thing. Trans women, or at least the trans women that I have spoken to personally, I have a trans sister, a trans woman in my life who's like a sister to me. I listen to other trans content creators. I have supporters who are part of the trans experience, who I've had conversations with, who, at least to me, they understand that they're trans women. Look at T.S. Madison. It's in her name. She understands that she was not born a female. She understands that. But as far as the social construct and what society deems to be a woman, she has manifested that. And I'm trying to understand. And again, I'm not a woman. I'm not a female. So I'm going to say speaking ignorantly on this. But I'm still going to share my perspective because I've also educated myself to listen to it. I'm trying to understand, how does a trans woman take away from your womanhood? How is your womanhood now suppressed? How is your womanhood not valid? How all of a sudden, I've heard somebody say, and it can still be insulting, but I at least can, I would prefer them to believe that as opposed to other stuff. Imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery. The fact that there are trans women that have to sometimes, not all, because there are some experiences where, you know, there's not a lot of work. It depends on the experience or the person. But having to get work done with what you say that God has given you naturally, why would you feel offended or feel some type of way about it? I can understand if trans women were running around and were literally ripping the wombs out of women and placing them inside themselves to have children. Okay, it's like, what the hell is going on here? But from my knowledge and from where I stand and from my research and my conversations with actual trans people, they understand and know that they are trans. It's just another form of womanhood. The womanhood and even manhood it's not a monolithic thing. It appears to be monolithic in certain cultures, like in America. Again, girls wear pink and they play with Barbie dolls and they wear dresses and they cook and they do all this other type of stuff. Boys, they like blue, they wear pants, they play with G.I. Joes, they like army guns, they like Call of Duty, all this other shit. Not everybody is going to fit into those narratives. Again, there's context and nuance that needs to be established. There are intersections within manhood and womanhood. I'm trying to understand how a trans woman is literally trying to erase females or women or take over what women is. If anything, it is just another extension of the expression of womanhood. Again, you have cis hetero women who like dressing in a more masculine fashion. They don't like dresses. They don't like all that shit. You even have lesbian women who are studs who say, I still accept that I'm a female. I'm not trying to be no nigga. Like, I like my titties. I like my coochie. Like, I like... How is somebody else's experience fucking with yours? Because what I'm starting to see is that, again, with the age of Aquarius and exposing things, we're starting to see who is secure and who is not. Who is actively putting in the work to heal and do better, and who are literally just saying it. Even in my own life, I'm being tested every day to walk out what it is that I talk. But that's just my perspective. And again, it's going to take an amalgamation. It's going to take all of us coming together with our truthful, honest selves, speak what we really feel, where we are, and then work together to get to a common goal. That's what I'm on. I'm not on here because I have hate in my heart. I'm not on here because I feel like reading or dragging somebody. I don't even like doing stuff like that because that takes so much energy. I'm getting irritated because it's like, at this point, we have the information, we have the internet, we can talk to each other from the comfort of our own fucking homes and our own environment where we have sage and all that type of shit to do our own little shit around us. We need to work out what it looks like to be human beings. Because Mother Nature, God, Source, Universe, Allah, Buddha, Krishna, whatever the hell you worship, a damn tree, a star, I don't care. The sun, it don't matter to me. It's pushing us all into a place where we're going to be human, which means everything that's false, everything that we thought that we believed in was actually a lie. We're going to learn what the objective truth is. And the objective truth is that we're human beings and we need to start treating each other as such. And the only way that's going to happen is we're going to have to face our own fears. And in my perspective, roll up a nice fat ass blunt or a joint, smoke that shit, get a whole bunch of damn water, let's sit the fuck down, and let's talk this shit out. Because again, I can understand Amir Odom's, at least my interpretation of Amir Odom speaking out like this is because now for him and his life is probably going to be affected. Again, that covert queerphobia is now going to become overt again. I was watching a comedy special by Megan McGlover. I love Megan McGlover. Even though she has different viewpoints that kind of, she shares her sentiments, I still have love for her. I still care for her. And she's a funny individual. She's actually one of the individuals that kind of like helped to influence my comedic timing. I just love how she is. But she did a comedy special where she even spoke about her frustrations with the queer community now, saying that she fought for 3 things, which I can understand. Even at the time when I did my old YouTube channel, I was speaking about queerphobia and just wanting to be able to live my best life. I'm in a more advanced version now, but she said, first, I fought for the right to marry. I want to be able to marry the person that I love because, I'm sorry, it's more than just busting nuts. Busting nuts is nice. Don't get me wrong. I haven't busted a nut with another motherfucker in a long time, and I hope the universe changed that because, baby, I'm about to crack some backs and readjust some spines. But it's more than that. I hope to aspire one day to build a connection with another individual, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I want to strengthen our bond, our soulmate twin flame bond. I want to eventually have a family. I was raised and had an amazing family. I'm not stunting. I'm not throwing shade to nobody else, because if you didn't come from that doesn't mean you cannot have that. It is still obtainable. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. But I even want to have better than what my parents have. My sister has had successful relationships. I've only had one successful relationship, and that was back in 2009. From 2009 to 2011, everything else was either weeks or a few months. So when I do, God willing, attract the other individual who's really about that life, I want to build with them. And I want to be able to have the right that when I'm ready to marry, I can. So she says she fought for the right to marry, which I understand. She fought for the right to adopt children. Because if we look at the foster care rate system right now, a foster care system rate, shall I say, it's very high. And these aren't the gays coming together. Again, female can't procreate. Male and male can't procreate. Even though we have the tools to procreate, them coming together, we understand that. So it's a lot of children that were created by heterosexual people that could not handle their children. And there are queer people right now that will be able to pick up the slack that a lot of heterosexual people are fucking up or giving. But because they're queer, there is this fear narrative that queerness is going to rub off on them. If that was the case, how am I queer when I was raised in a heterosexual household, mother and father, slow danced, kissed? I think there was a few times I heard them, and I don't want to go back down that lane because it's a very dark thought, okay? Them dressing and matching each other and shit. I've seen that. So why am I gay then? So the right to marry, the right to adopt, and the right to have the power, I think it's called the power of attorney. In case something was to happen to me or my partner, I would want my partner to be able to have control over that. There was a documentary that came out in like 2012, 13, 14, around that time. It was on the Oprah Winfrey Network entitled Bridegroom. It was a story about two guys. They told their stories about them being queer growing up and all that type of stuff. They met, they fell in love with each other. Fell in love with each other. The love was there. Side A, his family was cool with it. Side B didn't fuck with it. Unfortunately, the person on side B with the homophobic family ended up having a tragic accident where he was dying. Side A couldn't even go see his partner because he's not, relative or next of kin. And his family, side B's family, didn't want side A to come at all. To where side A couldn't even properly say goodbye to his man. Understand, that's y'all's son, that's y'all nephew, that's y'all shit. But he was also my partner. To where they literally kept side A away from side B's funeral. So she fought for those three things. Again, the right to marry, the right to adopt, and the right to have power of attorney. All things still dealing with the theme of family. As much as y'all say that queer people are anti-family. But even she was upset about how everything is happening now, because if anything, from their perspective, the T and the Q and the I is starting to shake the table again on the covert homophobia. Homophobia just didn't fucking disappear from America. It don't fucking work like that. In order to make it disappear, you have to transcend it, and we have not done that. We've just learned how to do it behind closed doors or to become more subtle with it. And now with the TQI, according to their perspective, now is going to awaken that slumbering dragon that took us so long to put to sleep. And just like this says here on the screen, who's next? And they don't want to who's next. And I understand the fear. But what we're not going to do is sit up here and if we can't beat them, join them and throw rocks at our own people, not knowing that those same rocks that you helped to throw at these people, they're going to turn around and throw at your ass.
Woman and being a female is not about an identity. It is their existence. This is why some women find offense with Dylan Mulvaney, because Dylan Mulvaney started their career making a mockery off of every woman and all the stereotypes that they have.
Day one of being a girl, and I have already cried 3 times. I wrote a scathing email that I did not send. I ordered dresses online that I couldn't afford. And then when someone asked me how I was, I said, I'm fine, when I wasn't fine. How'd I do, ladies? Good? Girl power.
This is why some...
Okay. No shade. Again, I'm not a woman. I wouldn't be threatened by what the fuck that was on the screen, girl. I'd be like, bitch, what? No shade. No shade. You can still be a woman, girl, but you're not taking anything from my shit. Okay? And I don't know if I should say this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Notice that the women that he's going to show are white. White. Keep that in mind. Look at some of y'all comments. And I want y'all to engage. Again, this is the live that you ain't got to really pay attention to the screen if you don't want to. You can listen to this while you're doing errands, while you're cooking or whatever. I'm made for the background. I'm made for that. My voice is made for that. And I low-key want to talk to your subconscious, because that's where all the fear is coming from. So keep me in the background, baby. It's gonna work itself out. But Ron says the only LGBTQIA members that have issue with other members are the pick-me's that subscribe to the conservative party. And maybe that could be out of fear. Even with, or it is out of fear. Even in the terms of racism, you have some black people who are like, oh, I'm not those black people. I'm not going to hold you. I was like that in high school. I went to a predominantly white high school. I only had one racist experience, and it really wasn't racist. I had this full hair afro, full, just soul glow afro, bitch. And I'm walking down the stairs to one of my classes, and somebody, this white dude behind me said, what you talking about, Willis? That was the only racist time or shit I had. When I was in drama club, it was predominantly white. Them white people loved me, but I guess white people don't mind your ass when you tap dancing and cooning and shit, and you being entertaining, girl. They'll laugh at shit then. But there were times where I would be in the lunchroom with the white people and shit, and I'm getting these white drama club girls to massage me and shit like that. I'm just over here being treated like a king, and other black people looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not them. I'm one of the good ones. I'm getting invited to stay over people's houses and shit. I even had a friend who was Hispanic, and his mom was racist against black people, but she loved me. I was able to stay the night at the house. I was able to do all that shit. But that was still wrong, though. And again, it's the privilege of, oh, I'm not one of them, so they're going to exclude me. Again, on the screen, they're going to exclude me. What's up, King Anubis? Shout out to you. And your channel growing. I'm like, damn, whatever you doing, I'm going to have to do. Because, baby, you at 30-something? Like, Jesus, congratulations. Black on the screen. Okay? And this is not no fear-mongering shit. This is embracing fear. This is dealing with the fear, the FEAR, the false evidence appearing real. This is what this looks like. You got to face the shit. That's how you grow. Because this is what they want us to do. It's easier to take these people out if you have the people implode from the inside, girl. A house divided is easy to conquer. But only through fear and facing the fear, shall I say. Not identifying with it, not giving into it, not allowing you to envelop you, but for you to go through it. Not over, not under, not around, but through the motherfucker. And you can make it through. Let's see. Okay, we're not gonna do Ron like that because Ron is doing a little bit better. I had a conversation with him recently. No shade, I should have told y'all that. We supposed to be having a part 2, but he a little bit chill now. He a little bit chill, even though he has his own type of stuff. He a little bit chill now. I'm like, yeah, nigga, you sat there and thought about the shit, did you not? No shade. Woman, man, boy, girl are social cues and constructs created for familiarity. Exactly. Shit. I had Ron who got to tell me because I'm 5'2", bitch. I'm not a man, bitch. Technically, I'm T.S. Bubs in this bitch, according to him. He said men are taller. Men are at least 5'7". At this point, he told me to get my ass in the kitchen and make him a sandwich, bitch. That's what he told me. So I'm not even a man because I'm short. Ask the niggas who dealt with me. You know who I am. I'm definitely a man. Also, the argument of using the term cisgender is stupid. It's literally the scientific term. But people, I don't know why people don't want to learn until it's them. Then when it's about them, then they want everybody to know and to feel and to be educated. No, study to show yourself approved, and then you can easily do that. And then on top of that, you won't be so threatened by other people's experiences and how they show their damn life. Okay? And like I said, him saying 2 things, he's going to say it, especially in the second part. I was like, okay, Amir, I agree with you on this. Like, you digging deep now. You somewhat cooking now. You got the Lowry seasoned salt, and you sprinkled a little bit of it in there. Okay? You took a little bit of the damn gumbo sauce. We got a little bit of Flavor Town in here. It's still a little bland, you know what I'm saying? But we getting somewhere. Somewhere. Okay? Again, it being a political tool and also a capitalistic tool. We are the most profitable thing, unfortunately, for a lot of people is war. The more war and confusion, the more money people make. And we are literally fucking playing into it. I'm not. Fuck that. I'm gonna die anyway. I'm gonna live my best life. Fuck what you heard and what you think. It's time for people to actually study to show themselves approved. Those are the 2 things that are stoking all of this. It's interesting how these same conservatives are suddenly into science and biology when it pertains to identifying who is a man from a woman, but went against doctors when it pertained to saving the world. They felt the only alternative to saving people was through Jesus. I already told y'all, have y'all shit rolled up and a shot because y'all gonna need this. The truth, when y'all awaken to the truth of what's going on, y'all gonna need to hit the blunt. Y'all gonna need to take a shot on something to help you to somewhat level out on what's going on. Because like I said, now I'm gonna show it later on in the live, and again, we gonna be here for a while because, bitch, I got time today. I got my hair freshly retwisted too. Bitch, I got time. Okay, let me shut up and let's get through, y'all.
Find offense to the growing amount of trans women saying that they experience a period.
My period I experience every month is very real.
I think the really crappy thing about having a period every month.
This is why some women find it an offense to be called a chest feeder and a birthing person.
Quote, birthing people. I've never heard the term before. Can you explain what it means?
There are certain people who do not have gender identities that apply to female or male. So we think our language needs to be more inclusive in how we deal with complex issues.
The TQ Plus is demanding to be accepted and validated all at the expense of biological women. And that's exactly what J.K. Rowling was talking about. Her tweet stated, if sex isn't real, then there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and I love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth. And like she said, we want to meaningfully discuss these topics. We want to be loving, we want to be respectful. This is about making sense of the world that we live in today. The TQ Plus community is effectively changing definitions and meanings, all while calling anyone transphobic if they question it or don't understand it. The erasure of...
I ain't gonna say this, and maybe this is the gay side of me. And maybe it's just me. Maybe the Lord need me to work this shit out. So maybe me saying this publicly is gonna help. I don't know. I don't know why, but a lot of these conservative black men be fine as hell to me. I don't know why. I be kind of upset. I be like, damn, so you don't like black? You don't like chocolate at all? Damn. Wow. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Any person who is insecure about what the fuck we just saw on the screen, baby, that says a lot about you. If you getting triggered about these individuals talking about this shit, because it kind of give like these people who are saying this stuff are trolling. They are trolling. Unless, and again, I'm not a woman, so I'm speaking ignorantly here. And if there's any women in the comment section, like cisgendered females in the comment, okay? Does y'all like cramps intensify or increase when trans people are over here pretending as if though they're having periods? Because if they really, quote unquote, was having cramps and stuff, wouldn't they be on the motherfucking, especially the first time, wouldn't they ass be on the bed in the fetal position? Ain't that shit painful? If anything, I have respect for cisgender. I have respect for everybody, but I definitely have respect for cisgender females because, baby, the shit that y'all gotta motherfucking go through, bringing humans into the motherfucking world, bitch, and y'all be having goddamn hot flashes and shit. I'm hot right now. But why are y'all allowing that to affect you? What's up, It's Fitz? What's going on? Why are you allowing that to affect you? Baby, I wish I would sit up here and get upset about whatever the hell Amir showed us what the hell trans women and what they're saying is, girl. If it's not taken away from your life, leave it alone. It's a bunch of, I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of naked hippies in the desert somewhere dancing butt booty ass naked, honoring a goddamn burning effigy. That ain't got shit to do with me. That's not fucking up my life. Let them go out there and do their own shit. That's their own life. That's their own experience. And that's the thing about life. It's not just your experience. You're not the only motherfucker here, bruh. Like, the fuck? We're all here. Do you know who you is, though? But again, I can understand the fear. And I've never heard it either. Birthing people, like, I would have been heard some of these hotep ass, bald headed ass niggas, girl, be using that term. They would have been bought that up. And then the gag is, y'all will literally sit here and use clips of trans people that you can try to manipulate to support your narrative, but you won't have the 360 conversation by including other trans people like Hope Giselle, like T.S. Madison, like Laverne Cox, like other trans women, like A Style by Stevie, like a Kamari Davis, bitch, like any of these people to have the conversation because they live trans experiences too. The reason it becomes dangerous is because now, just like how Amir Odom is afraid that the blowback from the TQI is going to hurt LGB, all that blowback has already been for all of us. It's just that now, because of the ignorance within the community, now we can sit here and make the job easier. Make the job easier for queerphobic people to literally manifest what they really want to manifest, girl. Again, look at Uganda. We're going to see that soon. Most women nowadays, I assume, would love for others to go through their experience to have a better understanding of women. I don't understand the concern of cis women feeling that they have to complete. Listen, look, they have, let me tell you something. They have machines out here now that they could put on your stomach to give you a simulation. Again, a simulation. It's not even, the simulation is scratching the tip of the iceberg, I can assume. Because unlike that item where you could put on your stomach and simulate contractions of cramps and all that type of stuff, the people who are on that simulation, they can say stop and turn that shit off. Females have to ride that shit the fuck out. So again, to your point, I'm pretty sure most women are like, okay, you want to be like me? Okay, bitch, let me show you the dark side of it. You looking at the titties and all the beautiful, cute shit and all that shit, girl. I want you to come over here, girl, when your motherfucking shit, you want to punch your pussy in the face, girl. You want to take this hoe outside and fight this bitch. Like, how you going to regulate to me what the hell is on my body and what the hell you want to do, bitch, because you acting up? The fuck? But from what the person explaining the terms, it sounds like they're only referring to people that have lived outside of the gender binary and not cisgendered women. So what exactly is that argument? That he don't want that QTI shit blowbacking on him? He said, look, I was fine getting dick. I was fine doing it. Now you about to stop me from getting dick. Now you about to stop me from getting a man. Now you finna stop me from living my life because y'all want to start all this shit. And again, there's different perspectives, even from queer people. I just want to talk about it. I just want to find the, and I feel like what I want to do, and I'm grateful to see that it's not becoming as fearful as it used to be, but it's still a scary thing because you still have to face your own fears about stuff. And a lot of us just want peace and quiet. No shade. That's what I want. That's what I love. Peace and quiet. So when things happen in my life that come about to add some disruption, I do get irritated, but I also see it as an opportunity for me to learn something because it's happening for a reason. Now let's listen to Amir's interpretation or his perspective on the erasure of the gays, girl, the children, the kids.
Gays. The TQ plus is telling me that men can be women and women can be men. Okay, then what does that make me as a gay man? As a gay man, that's gay because he does not like vagina, he likes penis. What am I supposed to do when I'm confronted with someone that's claiming to be a man but has a vagina? I'm not transphobic for not wanting to be with a vagina. I'm gay for a reason.
And you have a right to that. You have a right to that. If you don't want to date somebody for a specific reason, at this point, I'd rather you just tell me that truth and move the fuck on. Yes, are there some people who will try to project their pain onto you, and because of their rejection they will make you pay for it? Yes, but I agree with you on that point. If you don't want to be with somebody, if you are a same gender loving man that wants to be with another same gender loving male, that's perfectly fine. No one's saying that you don't have to do that. You can. For example, I'm 5'2". There are some people that I might think that are cute who may think that I'm cute but not want to be with me because I'm short, because their 10-year-old niece is taller than me. I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, you're short phobic. Oh, no. I want to be with somebody that want to be with me. I'm not going to sit up here and project my fears onto other people and to make them want to be with me. And no shade, I've done that before. And that was very ignorant of me to do. And if someone is calling you transphobic because you're not attracted to a trans person, I don't think that's transphobic. That's you being honest. And we all have to deal with rejection. So again, I'm trying to understand how you are now forced to put your lips on Coochie Cat now. With this Bill Cosby eye that's going on. The pudding pops, you say. Okay? Stay away from pudding pops and the narco Tims, you say. Let me stop.
have definitions and meanings and words for a reason. It's literally 2023 and you have lesbians being kicked off of lesbian dating apps for being transphobic, for not wanting to be with someone who has a penis.
We are a platform for all lesbians, trans lesbian, non-binary lesbians. You are all part of our lesbian community.
Let that sink in.
You have That's why context and nuance is important. You have trans women who are still attracted to women. Because like you said, the sexual attraction and the expression in gender identity is different. You have trans women that are attracted to men, and you have trans women that are attracted to women. You have trans men that are attracted to men. You have trans women that are You don't have to do that. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. You don't have to be with someone if you don't want to be with them. As far as sharing your body, your energy, your experience, you have the right to not want to do that. That's perfectly fine. Now, if to his point, if people are getting kicked off of a lesbian app because they want to be with a cisgendered female and not a trans woman, that is wrong. I will agree with that. That is wrong. They should not be kicked off. At the end of the day, you want to be with who the hell you want to be with, especially if it's an app you paying. Bitch, hell yeah, I want to be able to filter. You got the filter option for a reason, bitch. No shade. But to the owner's point, she wants to make sure that her app is inclusive. Because again, lesbian is not a monolith. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I like just learning. Maybe I just like educating myself. I realize that knowledge is power, and I get it. Some people want to stay at certain levels, and that's okay. That's fine. That's cool. That's fine. Like, it's your life. Be whatever level you want to be on. But don't try to stop people from ascending higher than you or exploring other things that you are not going to explore. But let's continue about the erasure of gays now and how,
You have lesbians being kicked off of lesbian dating apps because they're being transphobic for not wanting to be with trans women who have penises. This is what I was saying about the LGB being different from the TQ+. The LGB relies on biology and the TQ+ is all identity.
But even though they're identity, they're still human beings, which means they still have sexual attractions. So if anything, that expression or gender thing is just another extension of their reality. Since we're talking about realities here. See, this shit is so deep. It's so deep, and I'm really about to start delving deeper into this and not really giving a fuck, because I really be trying my best to help people understand, or to at least guide, interpret to people in a way that they can understand. And that's why I ask for engagement. That's why I try to invite other people onto my platform to have different perspectives than me, because you might be able to see something that I don't see, or the iron can sharpen iron, especially if we have a common goal in place. This shit is deep, but I get it. I can understand, again, Amir Odom's fear. He's afraid, at least my interpretation, speaking ignorantly, I'll say, because I don't know him, but from what I'm seeing, the backlash from the TQI is going to affect his life. Not realizing that all of our lives are being affected because we're being tolerated. We're not being loved, appreciated, and affirmed. Oh, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You're right. You don't care. That's the problem. You don't care for queer people. Not you, but just a lot of people in the majority do not care for queer people. Again, with my adventures on TikTok, in the comment sections, and just exploring shit on YouTube and just delving deeper into stuff, I understand that there is still very much a large, low vibrational plate energy of fear and ignorance towards queer people, to where, and we're going to talk about it later on, where people are saying, keep the gays away from my children. I don't want them around my kids. Keep it away from my kids. Away from my kids. Away. There is a fear there. And it's like queer people have to prove themselves to heterosexual people that they're not them and all this type of shit. No, or we can address all of your ignorances and biases towards queer people and nip it in the bud there. Because if what you're saying about queer people, not you, Amir, but what a lot of the majority of heterosexual people believe about queer people was true, where is the receipts of the actual objective shit? Oh, well, Bubs, you seen the video, or they're going to see the video. You have grown-ass men twerking in front of kids. You have kids on the pole and stuff like that. Guess what? Those kids are chaperoned by their parents. Just like how you don't want your kids around that shit, there are some parents who are more cultured, who are trying to understand other people's culture, and they understand that their child is not being sexualized, because not everybody interprets sex the same way that you do. And if the people who conceived this child has the cognitive, awareness to bring their children to pride events, way before this pride, I've been to a few prides myself where there were parents with their children because they understand the community. They humanize the community. They don't see it in a sexualized way. It's the way that you interpret it to be. If it's sexual, then why ain't the kids motherfucking getting stroked on? Oh, the kids are on the pole. Pole dancing is also an art, but because we live in a society that associates pole with hoes and strippers and all this other type of shit, not realizing that pole dancing can also be a beautiful art. It is a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a neutral thing. It's about the intent behind it. But then when those parents allow their children to be around queer people and some of the expressions of queer people, now you have people saying, oh, those children need to be removed from those parents because they're fucking their kids up. Y'all afraid because y'all don't want the queer kids interacting with the heterosexual kids. Yeah, you talking about the erasure of gays and all that shit. You damn right, the erasure of gays. Because once again, look at the screen, Amir. And I would hope that I'm wrong. I want my face to be cracked so bad that I am wrong. I want to be wrong about this. I want there to be calmness where people are saying, oh, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care what you do. I want to believe that we have gotten to a place where people are not tolerating other people's lives, but just allowing them to live, especially if they're not hurting you. I want to believe that, but doing my research and looking objectively, we are not there. If anything, they're trying to revert and go back to forcing queer people. And I use the term queer because I'm not going to see LGBTQ all the time because I already be stuttering. So queer is just a blanketed term for me as far as that, because at the end of the day, the community outside of us, they still see us all as gays. Whether you're trans, whether you're queer, whether you're intersex, whether you're asexual, whether you're non-gender conforming, whether you're non-binary, they gonna lump it under gay shit. That's all that gay shit. It ain't heterosexual, so it's that gay shit. The difference between transphobia when it pertains to dating preferences. I'm not attracted to trans people because it's gross. Transphobic. I'm not attracted to trans women because I'm gay and I'm attracted to men, not transphobic. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's like somebody hitting you up on an app that you don't find attractive. Are you going to sit up here and play in their face, oh, I mean, yeah, you cute or whatever, and lie to them? Or are you going to say, hey, look, I'm grateful and I'm flattered, but I don't see you that way. Thank you, though. There are people who can't handle rejection. But that's your problem. I'm telling your ass the truth. If you can't handle the truth, then maybe you shouldn't be on this app. Or at least on my page. Because I ain't gonna hold you. When I did have apps on my phone, which was like years ago, I don't do that app shit no more. I had, what was it? I think it was Grindr or something. It was this fine ass trans man, fine as hell, that lived a few blocks from me. He messaged me first. I messaged him back. He stopped talking. I'm like, look, I never ate low puss, but the way you looking, I'll try. Just cut the lights off, okay? And you got to give me a listen. I'm willing to see what that's about, because there are some trans men that I looked at and was like, oh, wow, they fine as hell. Do I want to motherfucking try a little? Again, I'm going to be completely objective and honest because, again, like I said, there are going to be some points that Amir brings up to where it's like, okay, I can understand that. I'm not going to sit up here and call him stupid and dumb. Are there some things that he's ignorant on? Yes, in reference to my opinion. Are there some things that he is ignorant about? Yes. My opinion. Fear-based? Yes. My opinion. But let's continue, Amir.
And they are changing definitions and meanings. Being gay doesn't even mean liking penis anymore. It just means liking men, but I'm gay because I don't like vagina. Like, I don't understand the world that we're living in today. And if you're still watching this, I applaud you because this shit is mental gymnastics.
It's really not.
Truly can't, I
it's
always
really
say this,
not.
we cannot defend something we can't
really
define.
not.
Everyone is confused. Like I said before, the LGB...
Everyone is ignorant. That's why they're confused. Again, the information is there. The realities are there. The experiences are there. These people don't want to do the research. I'm telling you this from my own experience. And again, I want to be wrong about that. Because I show so much information on my Instagram. And then again, shout out to Deshaun Williams because, baby, I'm going to have to find time to really show y'all the receipts that Deshaun sends me all the time. That can help completely absolve a lot or dilute a lot of the fear energy that is going on pertaining queer people. What's up, Queen Spicy? Queen Spicy. What's going on? All right, Amir, come on.
It's very clear and concise and easy to understand. We have the definitions. We understand what it means to be a lesbian, a gay person, or a bi person. Cut and dry, done. The TQ plus, we have no idea. It is forever changing. It is forever growing. LGBTQ.
So you don't want to learn. That's okay. That's fine. Again, you can stay at a certain level. Again, I like learning. I like educating myself. I like trying to connect with other facets of humanity so that I can delve deeper into mine. No shade. That's just me. Some people are like, okay, that's too much. And again, we live in America. It's a microwavable age. It's a fast food age. It's fast internet, fast 5G, everything fast, fast, fast. You can even get ass fast. You can get your shipping shit fast. Everything is fast. And I get it. We're so used to moving. There are some things that we're going to take our time to get to know. Because regardless of how much humanity expands, it's still humanity. So there's still some things that humanity is going to have to put in the work to understand. And I'm pretty sure with you being a same gender loving man and still being able to accept the fact that there is homophobia that is happening, maybe not to you, but to just in general, you would still want, fuck all that. You would want somebody to get to know you for who you are as a person, as opposed to you just being gay. Even when we look at the laws that are being put in place today, they're attacking same gender loving people. To this day. So there's so fucking much, bruh. But my short leprechaun ass gonna find out what it is, bitch. Or my piece of the puzzle, damn it.
Q plus community is way too big, way too overdrawn, and it does not speak for all LGBT people. This is why you have a growing subset of them speaking up and speaking out against this. And people say that we can't separate the LGB from the TQ plus because trans people are at the forefront for fighting for LGB rights. I get it, but here's the deal. Just because a group of people did something good does not mean that group needs to be praised for eternity.
Wow. Wow. So it's okay for you to benefit from it, but not to honor the foundation that was laid to even allow both you and I to even be on YouTube and to be openly gay men and speak our own piece without being murdered or hunted down in the streets. Because baby, over in Uganda, baby, they wouldn't, you being a gay person against a gay person, baby, you would have to go through conversion therapy. You would have to renounce your homosexuality. You would have to do all that. And if you was even an openly same-gender loving man over in Uganda right now, your ass can face prison time up to 10 years. And if you're a repeated offender of homosexuality, there's the death penalty. So yes, it's a slap in the face to the individuals who blood, sweat, and tears are in the soil, the ground of America, so that you could have the ability to marry, so that you could have the ability to adopt children if you choose to, for you to have the ability and the right that if your partner was on his deathbed, that you would have the ability to be able to control what's going on. Wow. Wow. I get maybe the older generation is trying to understand the alphabet and the definitions of them, but when a young person like this young man making a big deal of this, I sense it's a tap dancing show. It could be. I don't know. It's very interesting that there's a rise of this now. That could be the case. But to your point about the older generation, and I think that's happening around the scale. The older generation, and even me, like, I was born in the 90s, so I was born in the middle of the old world and the new world, the beginning of technology as far as the internet and the computer. So I was there for all this stuff. So even me, I have nostalgic moments, but I also have to accept where I am. It's a new world. How do I adapt? How do I grow? That's what you're supposed to do. The new generation is always supposed to be better, supposed to be brighter, supposed to be more context and nuance than the previous generation. And I'm glad you said that, because there's a quote by an individual by the name of Daniel Dennett that reads, "We need to let our children grow up to face the world armed with knowledge, with much more knowledge than we ourselves had at their age. It is scary, but the alternative is worse." Look at the alternative now. I'm going to read that again for you. I'm going to take this off. Look at the screen. "We need to let our children grow up to face the world armed with knowledge, with much more knowledge than we ourselves had at their age." Okay. It is scary, but the alternative is worse. What's happening is that
NASA and space.
Okay, thank the Lord. That just threw me off. I was expecting that to play when I put it back on. We're seeing a mass awareness of queer people having control of their narrative. Heterosexual people, through the lens of religion, had this stronghold on queer people's interpretation that they were sick, twisted, evil, deviant. They were waiting for your children. They're hiding in bathroom stalls. They're hiding in classrooms. They're hiding in the principal's office. They're hiding in all these different places. They're just waiting for your children. Now that queer people are controlling their narratives and you're starting to see them more than just being queer, it becomes a problem now, because y'all have been taught for the longest time that queer people are just sexual people only. And that is just one extension of us. Just like for heterosexual people, they're sexually, physically, mentally, emotionally have the capacity to build with someone for more than just sex with the opposite sex. It's the same fucking thing with queer people. I'm pretty sure Amir Odom can agree to that. The heterosexual community's interpretation of queerness has been death and destruction. But when the actual people living the experience tell their experiences, and their experiences involves y'all homophobia, y'all queerphobia, you don't want to handle that. Didn't the thing just said that as parents we have to arm them with knowledge? Or to arm the children with knowledge? but I arm them with the proper knowledge, not the fear-based knowledge, because what's going to happen is that you're going to continue to live vicariously through your damn child, through your own fear-based narrative, as opposed to allowing people or teaching them, first of all, to have their own self-independence, to be strong in who they are, and to reinforce who they are, so when they go out into the world, they can still be themselves while honoring other people's experiences. Because America is a melting pot, okay? We're supposed to be the amalgamation of the world, girl, and we're striving farther away from it. Maybe this American dream is really an American nightmare that we need to wake the fuck up from. And the only way we're all going to collectively, again, wake up is that we're all going to have to come together. Because I want to invite people like Amir Odom, like Jackie Hill Perry. I want to invite other people who are on the other side over to have conversations that establishes the gray area, or for the Christians, actually walk out the footsteps of Christ, which is love and inclusion. But I gotta face my fear in order to understand that, which is why my short ass is here. Okay, if I can do it, so can you.
Exploration, but I don't see it's praising the group who created it. With this TQ plus community, if anybody can be anything at a moment's notice, what is the point of anything? You got people claiming to be trigender.
I am trigender, which means like a triangle, I have 3 genders: male, female, and non-binary.
And we've already discussed this in a separate video, but you got the TQ plus pushing themselves on children and transitioning children. A new inclusive. If you're trans, then that's fine. You're a grown adult, do what you want, but you need to acknowledge what you are. You can't force the entire world to affirm your identity and say, yes, if you are a trans woman, you are a woman. No, you are transitioning for a reason. Let's be real here. And I'm not gonna sit here and be called transphobic because I don't wanna be with a man who has a vagina. Let's cut the crap. When words lose their meaning, it is very easy for society to crumble. We can't function in a society if we're not even having conversations. And to have a conversation is to have a basic understanding of what the words mean so that you can actually converse and talk to one another. But again, we can't do that if we're destroying language and what words even mean to begin with. So be sure to subscribe because I do have...
Okay, I can subscribe to his shit, okay. The next video that we have, okay, is a video that he has done with another content creator. I forgot her name. I'm pretty sure you'll get it in the video, where they're trying to explore why Pride Month has become the most hated month. Now, again, there are some things that he does say to where it's like, okay, I can see what you're talking about. I can understand where you're coming from. And I want to delve deeper into that. Because again, I'm all for the bigger picture. But we got to start somewhere. So let's get into that commentary.
Pride Month is one of the most hated months of the year. Why? What's supposed to be the most joyful and loving months of the year has now turned into the most divisive and toxic. There's children in attendance at these festivals that feature lots of nudity and sexual acts. Numerous corporations use it as a cash grab to pander to the LGBTQ community. And there's a growing segment of the population that's just fed up. And don't get me wrong, as much as I want these corporations to shut up about Pride Month, I need to shut up when I'm sleeping, specifically when I'm snoring. If you're wanting to stop snoring at night and actually get some quality sleep...
Okay, yeah, because I ain't got time for your ass to be snoring. You sound like a single engine jet. Or a lawnmower starting. Oh, no. That's very interesting. I'd be scared as hell to have it on my damn mouth, girl. What if I get thirsty or feel like shit stuck on my lips? What if I'm choking on my own spit? Not you snoring. So is it like a loud, obnoxious snore? Here's why wellness bros are sleeping with their mouth taped shut. I mean, I can understand sleeping with your mouth taped shut if you're trying not to get spiders in your mouth. Because I'd be afraid. Spiders in my mouth and shit. I wonder how many spiders... Y'all ever thought about that? Like a spider crawling in y'all mouth when y'all sleep? Let me stop triggering y'all, bitch. Well, I think when it comes down to your interpretation of TQI, until you educate yourself, it'd be best to use that too. So yes, put the tape over your mouth and listen. No shade. No shade. Okay, yes, let's get into it. I think this is it. Let's go.
In this video, I want to introduce my friend Ariel.
Hey guys.
She's a YouTuber that's been covering these topics for well over a decade, and I felt like it'd be a great addition to this video to have her
very familiar
as well. What is Pride?
This is a celebration of sex and love and who we are as fully formed beings, sex included.
And to be honest, that's fine with me. Pride has always been about being prideful in various aspects of your life with a focus on sexuality.
Speaking from direct experience, it didn't really seem to bother anyone until it became extremely commercialized and was pushed to be more family friendly.
The second Pride was hijacked by corporations, it completely changed the way it was represented and highlighted in various cities across the country.
A lot of corporations are capitalizing off Pride and off LGBTQIA plus, like,
I agree.
merch. I don't know, they're just making a lot of money off this.
The funniest thing to me is the far leftists that complain about capitalism and how it's bad, yet they go into Target and just will buy all of their Pride stuff.
Now, no shade. That is true about anybody the Pride stuff. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So maybe at this time, we need to start outsourcing our money to actual creators that can create queer merchandise and stuff independently. Maybe that could be good to keep the money within the queer community. Like, maybe that would be good because, I mean, no shade. That is true. I ain't gonna agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that. Like, you can't sit up here and talk about capitalism, but you out here doing it or whatever. I mean, that is true.
At its finest, but you know.
Truly, Pride has shifted away from the people and put its focus solely on the corporations, and they've made an insane profit throughout the years until recently when we started involving the children. And it's just crazy to me, like, knowing what goes down at these Pride parades, in what world did you think it'd be okay to commercialize this?
The amount of ass and tits I've seen today is, it fills me up for the rest of the week.
We have this huge event that became mainstream. Media is talking about it everywhere. Everybody's involved, even children. And that is when everything started crumbling down.
It's always the children when it comes to queer people. And again, we can have that conversation about children and children being sexualized. We can talk about that, or children being around sexual things. We can talk about that. But if we're going to talk about that, we have to have the complete 360 conversation, because it's very interesting that whenever queer people are inserted into the narrative when it comes down to children, now all of a sudden we have to have congressional hearings, and we have to have town hall meetings, and now we have to have Bible meetings and all this stuff to talk about it. But yet you won't address it when it comes to heterosexual people, especially like on TikTok. How many songs on the top 10 on TikTok right now is a trap song that has been remixed, talking about sex, talking about fucking, talking about murder, and you have 9-10-year-olds doing motherfucking hip gyrations and damn TikTok dances to it. So if we're going to talk about that, we have to ban TikTok. What else? We also have to ban these artists, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, canceled. Who else? Like, we're going to have to really go there. Because there's a lot of children now that know all these songs from rappers and entertainers. So again, if we're going to play the game that you want to play or that you're giving to queer people, I'm okay with that, because like I said, it's going to be equality across the board, regardless of where y'all want to go. That's the thing. A lot of these people who are queerphobic are trying to have a conversation to where they're not included and they're exempt from it. But you're not exempt from it. You may subjectively believe that you are exempt from it, but objectively, collectively, you're not. So again, if we're going to have that conversation with the children, I can have that conversation about the children. And speaking of, we'll get back into that because they're going to talk about the kids. Let's continue.
Are you guys surprised? Is anybody surprised?
Family-friendly Pride events.
Okay.
This is how Pride Month has become the most hated month. Children are being exposed to this very mature and sexualized behavior, all backed and funded by these corporations, pushing it to become more family-friendly, when that's not the case. It's entirely too much. There's no reason why any child should be celebrating Pride. Really, all of us, because it's 2023, there's not much that a grown gay man cannot do in this country. Like, Pride parades made a lot of sense back in the day.
Okay, I ain't gonna do you
when
like
we
that.
were shunned, when we couldn't get married, when we couldn't get jobs, when we were very isolated in this nation.
But it does not mean because those laws are put in place that queer people are still not dealing with queerphobic stuff in their own lives, and that queerphobia is now on the rise because once again it's being covert and now becoming overt. And again, these children, let's play the game. Yes, these children are around adults who are doing all this twerking and all this other type of shit because according to what you're using, the context and what you're saying from the clip, that pride is about sexuality and liberation and all this other type of stuff. Again, those children there, 95% of them, I'm sure, you might have 5% that might try to sneak in on their own, but 95% of them, I'm pretty sure, had some sort of chaperone or guardian that brought them there because the parent is, once again, raising their child. I can understand if at Pride, the drag queens and all of these people that's wearing jock straps and all this other type of shit and dog hats and all this kinky ass shit, I can understand if they were literally rounding the children up like Jeepers Creepers or something. You know, if they was on some John Wayne Gacy shit, like trying to lure the children, like the clown It, like trying to lure the children into the Pride event, into the dark corners, and literally pouncing on them, I can understand if it was that. But again, you have these parents who came together and had sex and produced these children who, just like how the queerphobic people are saying, I want to raise my child the way I want to, then allow that parent to raise their child how they want to. Because some parents are willing to face their fears. Now, to Amir's point, and I can understand, I'm not finna go to no Pride parade in a damn jockstrap. I'm not finna go to a Pride parade with a kinky leather BDSM dog face mask on to a Pride event, because that's just not my stilo. But if somebody else wants to do that, that's on them. And then when it comes down to Pride events, a lot of times you got to pay to get into Pride events. And there are also people who are more cultured, who are more open-minded, and they are trying to teach their children not to sexualize it because they don't see it as something sexualized. And if you see it as sexualized, then again, let's do it once again across the board. That mean when y'all go to this damn freaknik ass shit that's going on, ban that shit. I need y'all to be marching there too. When spring break comes and it's spring bling and all this shit, and you got grown ass adults on the beach, getting drunk, showing their titties, all type of fucking going on. I need you to go there and stop that shit too. What y'all doing? What's going on? And this might be a stretch for some people, but even like, what's that shit? Carnival. Yeah, it's a part of the culture, but it's some sexual shit going on. You got people in damn thongs and damn bikinis. You got grown ass men with their shirt off and they hoochie daddy shorts on. They're literally gyrating on each other. They're literally simulating the act of sex. They're literally getting it in while the parade is happening, and there's children around too, but that's a part of the culture. But see, once again, we understand that anything that is not heterosexual, is going to be demonized. Because when it's heterosexual, we can somehow make an excuse for it. Of course, because it's heterosexual. We know this. We're not ignorant to this. And it becomes cringy when people don't want to be honest about their queerphobia. And now what I'm also starting to understand is that there's queerphobia within queerness. And it's just very interesting to me. He would need a device to press against his sign to stop snoring, not taping your mouth. Unless you're trying to keep the gay agenda demon from, skeeting in your mouth. April is an influencer that is known for using her platform to bash trans women. She's a no shade, girl. When I was girl, I don't want to do that, girl. Girl, I don't want to say that, girl. I ain't gonna say that, girl. I was gonna say something shady, but I ain't gonna do it. I understand the whole concept of capitalism, how businesses trying to profit off of special events. However, at least there are items available for people, for instance, trans accessible bathing suits. Yeah, like again, it's about the context and nuance of it. But when you see it, but when people choose to look at it from a fear-based narrative, they only just see, oh my God, the horror. But then once again, just like to your point, trans accessible bathing suits. But let's continue to hear the rest of Amir Odom's perspective on why Pride Month has become the most hated. Thank you very much, QT Plus.
Just to rally together to have a pride parade to be prideful in who we are. But now it doesn't make sense, and we've been fine up until we brought kids into the mix, and now everything just hit the damn fan.
Wow.
Why are people boycotting Target? Because they're selling children's attire with pride stuff all over it.
Why are people boycotting Bud Light? Because they promoted a trans person who is pushing children to transition.
Why are people boycotting drag queens? Because drag queens are pushing to perform and read to children.
Why are people boycotting gender-affirming care? Because they're trying to allow prepubescent children to chemically and sexually castrate themselves while also allowing young women or young girls to get double mastectomies.
It all comes down to the children, and had we let them alone from the jump, we would not be where we're at today. Homophobia on the rise.
So let's talk about that before we get on homophobia on the rise, because I do want to talk about that. I've done lives on this before. And again, I know my content is not going to be popular or hot now, but eventually it will. Trust me, I already know, because I got my shit lined up. No shade, because I put in the research. When it comes down to gender affirming care, there are certain procedures that are put into place because, again, when people are transitioning, they have to go through, at least, if I'm not mistaken, anywhere from 1 to 2 years of actual therapy to be able to make sure that mentally and emotionally, in some cases spiritually, are they ready for the transition. Y'all be speaking as if, though, these people go down back alleys somewhere at 3 o'clock in the morning and get fucking black market HRT shit. No. And again, the trans people have always existed. Y'all talking about, oh, children, they're too young to know what they want. But if your child decided that they wanted to become a pianist, you would buy them a piano. I'm pretty sure if your child decided that at a young age they wanted to be a ballerina, you would go ahead and buy them some ballerina shit. I'm pretty sure, see, we have no problem when our children know what they want to do when it comes to that thing. But you do have some children who are trans. Look at Gabrielle Union and D Wade's trans daughter. There is no proof that provided to say that Zaya has had any sort of trans surgery. And we're also living in an era and a time where there has been much research that has been done. Unbeknownst to y'all, being ignorant doesn't mean that people ain't doing their research and doing this shit right. Who already have these things in place to help trans people, even if it is trans children. And I get it. You have these people having fears. Well, what if you regret it? And what if you regret it? And what if you... There are things in place to help a person. And at the end of the day, that person is an individual. I understand that they're a child, but from a spiritual standpoint, that's another soul coming into the universe to have their own unique individual experience. And if you're operating in love, you will be able to love and affirm your child even through your own fears. I told you this fear shit is deep. It's deep and it's showing. People fear what they do not understand, and they hate what they fear. And speaking of hating what they fear, let's hear his interpretation on homophobia on the rise.
It's so obvious that the LGBT community has been completely hijacked by the queer activists, the radicalists. And this has all created a ton more of actual homophobia and transphobia. And now because children are always involved, anything even remotely gay is automatically criticized by the right.
And that's always been the case. This is not anything new. Y'all think that because we've won the right to marry or we've won rights to be able to allow us to be included, that all of a sudden the queer phobia has erased? Hell no. No. It's just been masked up. It's just been in the dark. It's still looking. It's still waiting for its opportunity to come out of the dark again, or to destroy the lights so that we can be submersed into darkness. Is submersed even a real word? Immersed into darkness. Whatever. It's dark. It's dark time. That's always been the case. But now that, again, if we do our research, like, come on, the narrative against queer people in reference to children has always been used. Again, it's a political thing. I think he even said it, a political thing. It's being used in a political way to weaponize children against queer people, because this queer shit, this gay shit, according to heterosexual people, a lot of them, is getting out of hand. And the shit is getting scary. Because at the end, I'm going to show you what I mean by scary. But see, we transcend fear. And in order to transcend it, you have to acknowledge it.
Sucks, because now there is an entire stigma and hate towards the gay community, when it's not even directed towards the gay community, it's directed towards the TQ plus side of the community.
Wow.
When us as gay people, the LGBTs, have really nothing to do with this. And I talk about this in another video, but it's increasingly frustrating because there are some things that I want to be highlighted and prideful about and to really be accepted, but it's hard when you have people tainting the entire movement, because it doesn't even stop at pride being commercialized. It also bleeds into it being extremely political.
There we go.
The Human Rights Campaign has declared a state of emergency for LGBTQ plus people in America.
That's what I mean when I say about this being a systematic thing, how capitalism and political, whatever the case may be, work hand in hand. Didn't I say earlier that one of the most profitable things, unfortunately, is war? To keep up the panic, to rise everything up, to make money off of it, because money is being made off the left and the right. But what Amir is doing, again, in my opinion, and if I'm wrong, I give Amir the invitation to use any of my content on my platform, because I'm not a hating ass person. I really want to have these conversations. But once again, Amir, when you choose to also play into the fear and you're queer, there are queer-phobic people who will literally weaponize you against queer people. They don't have any real love or genuine, authentic feeling towards queer people. No, they want to find any way to get rid, again, the video, find any way, look at the screen, find any way to get rid of queer people.
Fine. We are fine. We're good. The politics drives me up a wall, and they keep using this term community as if they're inclusive and all about equality when they're everything but.
What do you think of Donald Trump? F Donald Trump. I think he's...
So you're talking about community and stuff like that, but yeah, you want to detach yourself. So you talking about them being loving and inclusive, and they actually show up being loving and inclusive with the TQI, but you don't want to do your part in the loving and inclusion because the love and the inclusion is going way too fast and you need it to slow down. If you need to slow down, if you need to recharge your scooter, if you need to go sit on the bench and try to get your head in the game, get your head in the game, no Troy, then by all means, go ahead and do that. But don't sit up here and get mad because you're choosing to be limited in your perspective about life and culture. That's perfectly fine. Don't stop other people's stuff from it. And no shade, if you're going to help queer people, I would suggest or would like for you to speak more about the capitalistic and the political aspect of it and how it's being used against all of us. Even if drag queens, even if all these people was to quote unquote tone shit down for you to be okay, there would still be people who would still come to the pride parades, who would still hold up a sign saying your ass going to hell. There will still be pastors and preachers during all of Pride Month who are literally going to make videos about it. And then on top of it, you talking about being capitalistic. Aren't you making money off of this video during Pride Month? Because your videos, they're up there. They're in the hundreds of thousands. So you making a pretty cute coin off this stuff too, sir. So aren't you capitalizing as well? Aren't you paying your bills off of these videos as well? Aren't you sleeping with tape over your mouth without a care and a worry in your life in the world? Capitalizing off this video? My ass ain't getting nothing from this, so I'm speaking from the heart. I'm speaking the truth. I don't have no sort of, you know.
Does anything for the LGBT community? Nah, at all. What if I told you there's some things he's done that are pretty good? Would you believe? I'm not gonna listen to you.
It's very clear to me after going to these sorts of events for the better part of the last 15 years, actually I think it's like 17 years, I'm getting old, that these events are no longer about people having same-sex attraction or being gender dysphoric. They have become extremely, almost entirely political.
Truly, the only views that are accepted at pride parades and under that LGBTQ flag is left-leaning views. That's about it.
The rainbow flag used to represent, at least for me, being same-sex attracted or someone that was innately actually transsexual, having gender dysphoria. Now, when I see it, I just think of political far leftism.
And it's unfortunate because there is a growing segment of gay people who feel this exact way. There's a growing segment of gay people who feel isolated and exiled by both the left and the right. And they're just stuck in the middle, politically homeless. It's like, well, damn, what am I supposed to do? Pride Month is not what it used to be. Corporations have taken over, and this push for things to become more family-friendly just needs to stop because I don't know how this is going to end.
But it's low-key been family-friendly because when I went to my first Pride event in 2012, I think, 2011, 2012, I was just out of my relationship, like 5-6 months out of it, and you know, I was quote unquote a new gay, opening up, you know what I'm saying, finally walking in my truth and shit like that. Children have always been there. Like, I remember seeing parents push their children in strollers. I remember seeing drag queens perform. There's a famous drag queen here in Detroit named Sabin, bald-headed badass drag queen, funny as hell. Got a potty mouth, but also knows how to tone it down. Because again, for drag queens, it's their job. They know how to tone shit down. And a lot of times, hello, there's a drag queen by the name of Hershey LaCour. Shout out to Hershey fine ass, okay? From Chasing, I think it's LA. Just drag full time. Also is married and has a child. Baby, the fear, oh, the power of fear.
We all can agree gay relations have not been this bad up until we brought kids into everything. And I don't know why I feel like a broken record saying that, but we need to just leave them alone. Children are off limits. That's it. Personally, you won't see me celebrating Pride Month. It's just pandering month at this point, and I'm just completely over it.
I still attend pride parades every year. In fact, I'm probably going to at least 1 or 2 this year. But that doesn't mean that I think we need an entire month to celebrate. If anything, I think it would be a better idea if we took that month to fight for actual equality where it doesn't exist.
So yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and thank you, Ariel, for joining.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna leave this up, actually. I want to be wrong so bad. I want to be wrong so bad when it comes to this. I would want for what Amir Odom, what he's saying about basically just living your life and all these things. I want that to be true. The fact of him saying, no, the LGB, we was just chilling. Some of the T's, girl, some of them, we was just chilling. We was just relaxing in the cut. We was out here getting married and shit, having kids and shit. partners dying, we getting inheritances and shit, all type of stuff. I want to believe that that is the case. But like I said, looking at the bigger picture, unfortunately, and I can understand why people don't want to look at the bigger picture. It's scary. And I can understand why there are some people, once again, who want to disassociate themselves. I can understand why there are some people who want queer erasure, since we're talking about erasure. Do I still have that? I don't think I even have that. Let me see. Do I still have that thing? I don't know if I do. But it basically was talking about, I think I can probably do an overlay of that. Let me see if I can find it. Where it talks about the laws that are already being enacted against queer people. Try to see if I can find it, y'all. I don't even know if I can. I probably deleted it. Damn. But it talks about what's going on, like, in America right now. There's like 600 and something, if I'm not mistaken, anti-queer laws. And when I say queer, the way that I use it in context, it's a blanketed term for LGBTQ, because, again, I be stuttering. So, baby, I'm just going to say queer. It's just easier for me. But there are over, if I'm not mistaken, 500 to 600 anti-queer laws that have been drafted, which are breaking records. And I think 40-something of those laws have already been enacted. And here we are, queer people literally being against other forms of queer people to save their own ass. These people are not willing to even believe in community because they feel like they don't even have a community. See if I can pull up that other quote that I had. And this is from, I'm about to butcher the hell out of this last name, Swami Vivekananda. And this is another quote. Fear is death. Fear is sin. Fear is hell. Fear is unrighteousness. And fear is wrong life. All the negative thoughts and ideas that are in the world have proceeded from this evil spirit of fear. Again, fear is death. Fear is sin. Fear is hell. Fear is unrighteousness. And fear is wrong life. All the negative thoughts and ideas that are in the world have proceeded from this evil spirit of fear. Again, like I mentioned, and then we're going to be closing out. And I encourage you to go back into my YouTube history as far as the lives. And I do lengthy lives. Like, my lives are for people that want to expand their mind. And I get it. Everybody not on that type of time. That's fine. Maybe you have to come in during intervals. I get it. Some people cannot handle Bub's flow, and that's all right. I'm still going to flow. But for those who want to understand and want to put in the work to study, to show themselves approved, even if they have to break the shit up, okay, can go to my YouTube archive. And I did 2 lives about, well, really there's one live I want you to pay attention to. The other one was me just going off. It's a video that I did doing the Uganda Kill the Gays bill read through, and how vague and broad and generalized, and honestly how saturated in organized religion it was, on how it's literally erasing queer people's experiences legally. And you have somebody from that country who is an activist, who is on the ground floor in that area, who has to now accept that his experience of life, not just subjectively, but objectively, can cost him his life because of the ignorance and fears of other people that was propagated from over here in America. And how he, over there, in the midst of what's going on in his land, where he can lose his life, still had enough awareness in the midst of his fear to say, we are also asking that the Americans back home, y'all do some homework and y'all check the shit in your own backyard. Because now what's in your backyard has now come over to our country. Now the religious people can probably say the same thing over there, but of course they're going to say that. Look who brought the fear to them, the religious people. To where what you're seeing on the screen right now is a literal manifestation that is happening in Uganda. Let's take a look at that clip.
On the other hand, looking at a Vanity Fair piece, anti-gay sentiment in Uganda has climbed in recent years, due in no small part to American evangelicals who spent more than $20 million fighting LGBTQ rights in the country between 2007 and 2020, according to the Washington Post. Scott Lively, an American pastor, spearheaded this effort in the early 2000s, participating in a series of popular anti-gay lectures in Uganda, describing homosexuality as a disease propagated by the West. Several years later, Uganda's parliament proposed the initial legislation known as the Kill the Gays Bill that was supported by a number of American Christian groups and eventually signed into law. So if you can talk about what the U.S. can do, people in the U.S., but also what the president of Uganda has done. He sounded like he wanted to sound more moderate by sending the bill back to the legislature, but then signed off on a bill that could give some LGBTQ people the death penalty.
Thank you for that question. And I want to say that we, as much as we welcome President Biden's strong and powerful condemnation of this law, I think for us as advocates and activists, we've been pushing this. We've been interacting with our U.S. partners and telling them that something big and dangerous is coming, and it's coming from your country. Please have ways that you stop it before it comes to our country. And I think that has failed. So as much as I welcome President Biden's condemnation, I think there needs to be a lot of work done back home within the United States to make sure that these, exporters of hate into a country like Uganda, because Uganda seems to be geographically positioned for, for these people to come into our country and to test everything negative that they want to test in our country. So that needs to be stopped from the backyard in the United States before it comes this side. So now that we are in this quagmire and in this danger, we call on the global partners, global citizens to keep condemning this law, to keep putting pressure on our leaders to make sure that they honor the international covenants that they've been signatories to and domesticate them and treat their citizens as human beings, not as collateral damage, the way our country is doing with the LGBTIQ community. In 2012, my organization that was shut down last year in August by the government, Sexual Minorities Uganda, together with partners, Center for Constitutional Rights, CCR, based in New York, we filed a case against Scott Lively. You can find the information on CCR's website and so on. We did that because for us, it was important to take homophobia or institutionalized homophobia back to where it came from. And it came from Scott Lively, so we wanted to take it back to him. And the courts heard us. Unfortunately, there was a jurisdiction issue. Scott Lively appealed the case, but then again, it was ruled in our favor anyway. So these are things that we are going to continue doing, taking homophobia back where it belongs, even if it means us losing our lives. Yes, government wants to put, advocates and actual LGBTIQ persons to death, but we are also prepared until the last drop of our blood, as long as we live our truth in this country.
to my my queer girl, to my queer brothers and sisters who are afraid right now, who are fearful right now, I want you to understand that the fear that you're feeling, and again, this is just my interpretation, take what is yours and leave the rest. This is giving us the opportunity to really transcend our own fears and to continue to walk in our truth. Because unfortunately, we see what happens when you live your truth, and this is not anything new. Look at the history books of all the people that wanted to live in their truth and how the system, looking at the bigger picture, okay, doesn't want that to happen. So yes, with it being capitalistic and it being political, it's all being used to destroy the advancement of queer people. To the point to where now there are certain intersections within queerness that feel some type of way about other queer people expressing themselves. And instead of educating themselves, instead of facing their fear, it would just be easier to go with everybody else, because now homophobia is on the rise. Queerphobia is on the rise. It's just that there are some gays who are blaming the TQ plus, not understanding that that feeling that they have towards the TQ plus and has already been that same feeling for all of us. So to the queer people that are listening to this, who are afraid, it's time to face your fears. Get you into a self-defense class, learn how to protect yourself. If you have a good enough record, get you a CPL. Just because there's a fear narrative going around and things are getting scary does not mean that you have to become a victim of that. You have a right to be whoever the fuck you want to be, especially when you know and you can factually prove that you're not hurting anybody else. Not no interpretation, but the actual objective reality that you're not hurting anybody else. Live your best life. And if anybody tries you, and I'm talking about physically, verbally, let them talk. Or better yet, get back at their ass. Because like I said, at this point, because we understand the queerphobia and where the fuck it's going, oh, I'm not finna just let you just force me back into a place and I ain't gonna talk my shit. Are you kidding me? No. I have a right to live my life freely how I want to. And I'm tired of insecure ass people feeling some type of way about secure ass people living their best life, especially in a society that tells them that they're not worthy of it because they're queer. And they still rise. And like I said, and will continue to say, it's going to be equality across the board regardless. Whatever game or energy or level y'all want to be on, we can be on, even if that means the level of hell, because even some of us in the queer community have transcended that. And there are some of us who are low-key crazy, like myself, who don't mind being like, I'm about to say Rosa Parks, being more like Harriet Tubman and going to hell and back again and again and again and again. Because even to the Christian narrative, Christ, love, conquered death, hell, and the grave. And we see how people are failing to actually manifest that. And all Christ did was walk through his fear. So again, we gonna see who really about that life and who not. And I mean, I am another queer person just like Amir Odom, so we're having an in-house conversation, and I don't mind those. We need more of those. So anyway, thank y'all for rocking with me for this live. Okay, make sure y'all hit that like button, okay? Thumbs up button, okay, to help this channel grow in the algorithms. That is probably one of the best things you can do for this channel. If you're liking the vibe, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you know when I'm live, because again, I go live at random times. I go live when I feel compelled to. I'm learning how to go with the flow. Okay? to just be in the present moment. And if you want to be present with me, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling compelled, June ain't over with. It's Pride Month, but it's also my birthday month. So if you want to Cash App, you definitely can, baby. I'll take whatever you get. I'm getting all my blessings in all the intersections, okay? I give a lot as far as my energy, my time, all that type of stuff that I can't get back, baby. I deserve. Give me my gods. So I don't mind that. So if you feel compelled to, Cash App, $BubzDaGawd, I will appreciate it. Yes, shout out to Ron Mims in the building. Shout out to Queen Amber who came through. Shout out to Spicy in the building. Shout out to Roki. Shout out to It's Fits. I think this is the first time that I saw you here, so shout out to you. Shout out to King Anubis in the building. Who else we got? Style by Stevie. Shout out to you. Kavan, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to those that were in the bushes. Shout out to the replay gang. And for those who have a different perspective than mine, who are willing to, if you want to challenge me, I guess, or just to add your own context and nuance, leave your comments down below. Or if you want to be on the platform to talk about this even deeper, I'm game for it. Amir Odom, I send the invite. I'm here to find the gray area, y'all, of humanity. Because at the end of the day, baby, I'm going to live my short, best leprechaun, same gender-loving, John Wick-ass life, okay? I'm going to live that. And I feel like there is a possibility for all of us to live an abundant life together. I believe it's possible. So, until next time, y'all, thank you and peace.
Love never dies, just choose to be born.